got a traditional Cleveland area rivalry on the docket tonight from Shaker Heights, where Hathaway Brown tries to secure their 7th victory of the season and 2nd in the new year against the state-ranked Magnificat squad, off to a nice start at the midway point in the season. It's live and free girls D1 hoops on a snowy night in Northeast Ohio, and it's all on the way next.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
All-girls programs Magnificat and Hathaway Brown just about set to renew their rivalry on the hardwood as our live and free coverage of girls high school hoops starts up right now. Good evening, folks, and welcome to Shaker Heights, Ohio. My name is Skowronski, and I've got Travis Berardi with me right here. And it's a rivalry game, Trav, so always fun, always entertaining, and it's just one of these where two schools, they know a lot about each other. They circle this one on the calendar.
Throw the records out of the books, Brian, because you never know what could happen when two rivals get together. However, this Magnificat team ranked 12th in the Cleveland.com polls. They upset the 5th-rated St. Joseph Academy squad 49-46 in the past week, but then dropped a tough one to Hoban, the number 9 team in the state polls, 74-28. This is a team looking to bounce back, but like I said, throw the records out because this is a rivalry matchup.
Mags got off to a hot 5-0 start, as you mentioned. They earned that state ranking with all those wins early on. Since dropped 3 of their last 4, so they have potential for a big night and or a road letdown tonight. And I had an opportunity to catch up with their head coach, Danny Gallagher, just a couple minutes ago about coming here on the road and trying to take down the Blazers. All right, Coach Gallagher joining me now, and you girls off to a nice start to the season. You made your way into the state rankings. What would you say that you've enjoyed most about this particular unit and how they played so far in the season?
Just how well they play together. They enjoy being around each other every day. I think we move and share the ball really well, play very hard, and just, you know, how the ball moves on offense creates energy for us, and we talk about that a lot and enjoy that.
What do you think is going to be a key element for you guys here on the road tonight to try to get out of here with a nice W?
Yeah, weekday road games are always hard. We know that. We just talked about sticking together in the locker room. As you know, it's kind of low energy here right now. Hopefully that picks up a little bit. We got to create our own energy, continue to move and share the ball like we have been, execute offensively, communicate, and play harder than them defensively.
All right, appreciate it, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you, guys. All right, have a great day.
So, of course, Coach Danny and his bunch would love to come here on the road and knock off a team that's got just one senior on the roster in the Blue Streaks, who obviously has to rely on some youngsters. And for first-year head coach Steve Klug, there's been some ups and downs, but really likes what he's seen from his team so far. First-year head coach Steve Klug joining me right now, and looked like you guys are off to a pretty nice start to the season. You know, the 6 wins in your first 10 games. What would you say that you have liked most about this young team and some of the pieces that you have?
Yeah, well, we have a bunch of girls that just come in and work hard. We were young last year, brought almost everybody back except one player. The girls are really building chemistry, and it's starting to show on the court. We've been a little inconsistent at times, but we're starting to get there, which I like to see.
And I know this game's kind of a traditional rivalry up here in this part of the state. Well, what does it mean when Hathaway Brown takes the floor against Magnificat?
Well, first of all, Magnificat's a great team. Coach Danny is a great coach. Their program is something that we're trying to get to. They rebuilt their program about 3 or 4 years ago, and now they have a ton of talent. So we look up to them as a program where we want to get to.
We always do keys to the game, Coach. Make it easy on me. What do you guys got to do nicely tonight to get the W?
This game's all about the way they attack. They come after you defensively. So if we handle pressure the correct way, and if we're good in transition, we'll have a shot.
All right, good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Back to action for the playing of the Star Spangled Banner before we lace them up and get ready for some girls' hoops. So we're all set for action now from Blazers Arena here on the fabulous campus of Hathaway Brown Schools. Our first time up here. Last year they were playing at Ursuline College when we got an opportunity to see the Blazers, so now playing in the friendly confines. Let's jump into the keys to the game for Hathaway Brown tonight. And Travis, for me, it's snowing outside, but I feel like they got to make it rain here inside of the gym. Get some good juju going from beyond the arc, knock down a couple of 3 balls, and if you can do that, it just always seems to formulate well and put your opponent in a situation where it's like, man, that was a big blow.
Yeah, always get the first punch down, but mine is conditioning. As the coach said in the interview, you know, they like to run the ball, but then, you know, they get out of breath. They kind of let the other team get back into their pace, and they can stay conditioned, keep to their pace. They'll be fine tonight.
All right, and now the keys to the game for the opponent coming in tonight, trying to dethrone the Blazers, the Mags. I feel like they just got to bring the juice. They move the basketball well. This is a team that can score in bunches, but can they get the energy level up right from the get-go? They're on a bit of a skid right now for them after that 5-0 start. They got to bring the energy early.
And mine, like you said, bring the energy, stay high-paced. Like I said for Hathaway Brown, they get tired every once in a while. If you can keep that pace at a high ability for Magnificat, you're going to wear down Hathaway Brown, then you can really take it to them.
Just about set for action here. Starting lineups have just been announced.
For Magnificat, it's Sophia Wilson, Abby Rossell, Frankie Spear, Molly Lespeza, and Julia Hall. For Hathaway Brown, Gia Piscatelli, Tegan Clark, Lucy Castellanos, Molly Castellanos, and Germani Jones. And for Hathaway Brown, they have 4 players averaging over 9 points per game, so that balance, that's going to be key for them tonight if they want to get the upset over the number 12 team in the Cleveland.com polls.
And they've got 3 players all with the same last name, Castellanos, all of them pretty darn good ball players. Molly and Maggie, who will come off the bench today, are twins in the sophomore class. Opening tip won by the Blazers, and here is Piscatelli with the rock. Remember her last year as an outstanding freshman, a starter at the beginning of the year, all the way through. So she's played a lot of varsity minutes, even though their season last year, Travis, with all the quarantines, only got to play just 13 total regular season games as the first shot of the night is blocked.
Yeah, she had a nice take to the hole, but good job by Magnificat to collapse on her and get all ball to get their first possession of the night.
Streaks from the high post, Willen, Dillon out to the corner, but too many steps on the play that time for Abby Russell.
We did have Hathaway Brown's sectional semifinal game right here on the OH.Report. They defeated Shaker Heights 62-33. That's going to be a 5-second call, so Hathaway Brown turns the ball right back over. They then fell to Avon Lake in the sectional final 49-44. As for Magnificat, they were the number 2 seed in all of the Northeast District. That takes up, I believe, 6 or 8 districts.
Whoa.
But they fell in their district semifinal. They got upset by North Ridgeville 62-53.
3 giveaways in the first 45 seconds. Make it 4 in the first 51 seconds. And you try to tell people, I know the Christmas season, we like it to linger around, but the gift of giving, Travis, the season is over.
Yeah, it's the 7th of January. You might even want to say this is the last day you could say Happy New Year as well. Holidays are over. It's back to basketball. You get into the meat of the schedule.
So after a couple giveaways on each side, here's Jones inside. Clanks it off the glass for the first points of the night.
Averaging 11.5 points per game. Gets the Blazers on the board.
See Mags going with 4 players around the perimeter. Here's the dribble drive, the scoop shot off the side of the backboard that time from Julia Hall. And it's out of bounds over to the Blazers.
So defensively, Hathaway Brown's played pretty darn good here for the first minute and a half. 2 turnovers and really haven't allowed Magnificat to get an open shot yet.
Lucy Castellanos off the kick out. And Piscatelli called for the carry. Unbelievable how many turnovers. We've already seen 5.
Yeah, both teams a little jumpy here to start off, but I guess that's what comes with a rivalry matchup.
Sometimes when OH.Report's in the building, I mean, they're not accustomed to having us around here, Travis, when the bright lights are on. Sometimes it takes a little bit of an adjustment, and it looks like maybe both sides might start settling in. We'll see what Mags does here on this possession.
Love taking a road trip out of North Central Ohio to get some of these other teams highlighted. Woo, what a stroke there by Wilson.
Deep triple from the freshman Sophia. So the blue streaks on the board. Blazers looking to match. Down on the block, Jones with a triple team. Lucy Castellanos kicks it out. 3 ball on its way, and it finds its mark. Tegan Clark from downtown.
Nice answer there by the Blazers. At first, they originally broke that press, had a couple people open, but ended up going to their own set as that's blocked.
Great defense. Tegan with the 3 points at one end, the block at the other, and now the turnover. Piscatelli trying to go without the basketball. Was it last touch, though, by the Blue Streaks?
It was, and it'll stay with the Blazers, so this is that part of the game that Coach said that, they like to turn the heat up. It's just, can they keep it constant throughout the game?
Gia picked up at half court. Sophia with some nice defense. The freshman on the sophomore. Believe we're going to get a reach-in called against Wilson.
That'll be the first foul of the game.
Sophia Wilson, a graduate of Learwood Middle School.
This Magnificat squad actually defeated a team that we know. They defeated Margaretta 58-46 earlier in the season. Margaretta, known in our area from the Sandusky Bay Conference, one of those perennial powers in the area.
A Division III school, the Polar Bears. Beat up pretty good by this D1 squad. There's a good look there at the 5th-year head coach, Danny Gallagher. Told us before the game he likes this squad. Got a lot of youth out there. But they share the basketball well.
Another turnover.
And they're sharing with Hathaway Brown, who gives it right back.
Yeah, Castellanos should have taken the shot there, instead went for the extra pass and turns it over. And then a foul, frustration foul, about 96 feet away from the bucket. It's actually going to go against Piscatelli.
Lucy coming off a career-high 27 points on Saturday. You'd think she'd be looking for her shot here in the early going when everything went so well in the previous game.
Well, she also had the defender out of position to where she could have possibly drawn a foul as well.
So Wilson initiates the offense here. Rossell now swings it back to her. As Hathaway Brown going with a 1-3-1 look. Actually, kind of a amoeba-looking defense out there. I don't exactly know what they're running, and I think that that's a sign of a good zone.
Yeah, it's a matchup zone they have going on right now. Matchup 1-3-1, I believe. Yeah, it's
hard to tell what's going on. That one's too strong. Long rebound's going to make its way here into the near court. Piscatelli had to pick up her dribble. Now they swing it to the far side, trying to get Jones on the interior. She turns to the middle, up fake, and can't get it to go off the backstop.
Yeah, she had the right post move, but just couldn't finish.
Great transition run. Russell off the setup from Wilson.
Nice job by Magnificat to get out and transition, get to the bucket before Hathaway could recover. Easy bucket, we're tied.
Great look, backside. Great defense, too, by Wilson. But try again. Does Jermani Jones. She's headed to the free throw line. 2 points. One more on the way.
Great effort by her, not flustered by the first block. It's 2 offensive rebounds. If you don't succeed, try again. She gets the bucket. And that's going to be the second foul against Wilson.
Eerily quiet in here during the free throw. But it's good from Jones, so a 3-point advantage now for Hathaway Brown. As Mags, hard drive in the lane from Rossell. Oh, excellent look, backside. Jones all alone, back-to-back buckets for her.
Leading scorer for Hathaway Brown already with 7, more than halfway to her season average. Ooh, did you see that? What a move.
Josiah Anawar, who just checked in to the basketball game, showing off some fancy handling skills. Magnificat from the corner. Too strong on that 3 ball.
Nice job by Hathaway to continue to keep Magnificat at 1 and done offensively.
Piscatelli just got rocked right in the face on that shot attempt. As we take another look.
Look at the focus and the handling skill she has.
Great stuff there from the freshman. So much youth on display out here, Travis. It's pretty cool to see that both of these programs that compete at the highest level in girls basketball. Plenty of freshmen out here, of course, some sophomores in the starting lineup on both sides.
And they're both competitive as well. As you see, like I said, Magnificat, a ranked squad up here in the Cleveland area. And Hathaway Brown, you know, taking on some tough competition as well. Nice take to the bucket.
Hoop and the harm that time. So Josiah Anawar heading to the free throw line. You just see the nice hesitation move. Actually, back-to-back. If no one's going to come out and guard her, Travis, you may as well take it to the bucket. That's exactly what she did.
Yeah, lapse in defense. One of the first few lapses we've seen from Magnificat from Hathaway Brown tonight on that end, and it leads to a bucket and an offensive rebound.
See if it leads the points here for Mags. Skip pass. Nice move. The floater won't fall that time on the drive from Charlie Rosser. Tip into the hands of Jones, who immediately attacked and just better position that time from Kate Adler to stand her ground.
Yeah, Magnificat triple teaming Jones, forcing the turnover and a runner on the other end.
Molly Laspiza, the senior, connecting there. Now here's a deep pass.
Home run ball. Oh,
Layup not good. Celia Bullock able to track down her own miss, but I'm sure she's beating herself up after. I mean, this is a Peyton Manning pass right on the money. Bounces into her hands. Pretty clean defense, though.
yeah, just enough to get her to throw that just too strong off the glass.
What a catch right there in traffic by Lucy Castellanos. Ended up drawing the personal foul as well. Just showing off some strong hands and the ability to get right through the back of the defender. Get a substitution now for the Blue Streaks. Hall back into the mix. Blazers come to Jones. Couple of dribbles, now straight up top. Really admire the pressure that Magnificat puts all over the floor, Travis. I mean, it's a full 90-plus feet where they are just in your grill.
Yeah, that's how, most teams like this will do it. They'll just keep the pressure up until you wear down, and then they take advantage. And right there, a 5-second call. Great defense by the Blue Streaks that caused the turnover.
Gotta love it. If you're Coach Gallagher and Celia Bullock, the lone senior on this Blazer squad, was the one with the 5-second violation that time.
Yeah, both these squads, despite the youth, are really competitive. And these two teams, should be forces to be reckoned with for the next couple of years.
That was certainly what we heard from Coach Klug before the game, is that, he loves that he's off to 6-4 start here, but really, even though you're not overlooking this season, he's like, man, that the future, we got all these girls pretty much coming back next season.
This is kind of like a season where you're playing with house money as well. You expect good things in the year after, but the more wins you can get this year, just the better you're going to feel about going into that offseason. And you never know. I mean, seeding's coming up in the next couple of weeks, so a win over a Magnificat squad's just going to boost your seeding when we come to the Division I district draw here, being in February.
Closing in on 30 seconds to go in this opening quarter. Piscatelli to the corner. Here's Lucy off the drive. Drew a crowd. And now fresh off the bench, the first jumper comes up just a bit short for Carolyn Zhang, who got a standing O when she went into the game. I think it was a proud mama over here, was jumping all up and down.
The junior had a good look at it, just a little short.
Second chance opportunity will put Frankie Spear on the line.
Take a look at the replay, just a strong take to the bucket, and that's going to be Clark's first.
Knocks down the first free throw. And I tell you what, I truly even believe during last year's COVID restricted policy of allowing people in, I have never heard a gym this quiet during a free throw.
It's like both teams respect each other enough where they just let them shoot the free throw.
Shh, it's quiet time. Down to 6 seconds. Lucy checks the clock. Looking to take her off the dribble. A couple of crossovers. Now Zhang inside. Great two-lady game, but it's off the back iron, and at the end of one, we are all square at 11 apiece as we head to quarter number 2. 8 minutes in the books here at Shaker Heights, and I tell you what, it's as even as it can be, Travis. All square, 11 apiece, Hathaway Brown and visiting Magnificat. Sloppy start for both of these teams, but once they ease into the game, we've seen both of these teams have some great talent, and what I think is most exciting for both of them, the talent out here, very youthful as well.
Yes, Jermani Jones really showing off right now inside the paint for Hathaway Brown with 7 points, but then some balance on the other side for Magnificat, although Hathaway's defense has really caused some problems for them early on. And we're going to get an offensive foul against the Streaks.
So their opening possession only lasts 6 seconds as they give it right back to the Blazers.
It's going to go against Hall. And for the rest of the way, Hathaway Brown's going to be in the bonus. That was their 6th foul against Magnificat.
Free throws certainly could become a factor here in this game in this second quarter. As Jones going right to work down Main Street, left hand too strong, back to her. And look at Jermani chasing it down. 2 offensive rebounds. Castellanos off the back iron. The Blazers come away empty-handed.
Already 4 offensive rebounds for Jones, who's, like I said, as we came back from break, she has just shown her dominance inside the lane.
I think her motor just has an extra gear that most don't have inside of the paint, where she's always going after the basketball as that one splashes through the bottom. Frankie Spear.
Speared that one right through the net. Magnificat with the lead.
On top by 3, Blazers looking for an answer. Lucy to the short corner, had to pick up her dribble. Ooh. Now Teagan being harassed. Jones with the lob pass. They work it for an open shot, and it rattles out. Mag's got some numbers.
They had a good look at it, just couldn't hit.
Triple in the sky. Back iron. Creating another offensive rebound, and one. The bucket plus a free throw on the way from Abby Russell.
Great offensive rebound off the back end. Leads to the bucket and the harm. Give me the second foul against Piscatelli. And now Magnificat starting to get that offensive presence going.
Largest lead of the night for either side. And the junior cannot convert on the free throw. Two-man game up top. Castellanos goes around the screen. And a pass forced inside by Clark. It's intercepted.
8th turnover, but the Blue Streaks give it right back.
Jones had it tipped out of her hands, able to corral it. Piscatelli now on the fly, right side. Wide open look. And that won't fall for Molly Castellanos.
Just off the back iron that time. Nice post move, but short on the hoop.
Jump ball, Jermani Jones tied it up. It's going to be Blazer basketball. And 34 right now in the white uniform. She's certainly matching the intensity that Magnificat has, but I truly have been impressed by the girls in blue uniforms. When they're on the floor, no matter who it is, they're going at 103% the entire time, Travis.
Yeah, this is a high pace that, who's going to get worn down first? That's who will have the upper hand.
This is Teagan Clark on the free throw stripe. Halfway home on the first.
You just see the frustration on her face.
Teagan averages 9 points per game. Goes 0 for 2 on that trip. Stuck on 3 points for the night.
Free throws have not been the friend of either side tonight.
That one, too, wouldn't find its home off the nice dribble drive from Lespiza. Hand check, and this is going to put the sophomore Gia Piscatelli on the line already for a 1-and-1.
5:38 left in the quarter. And Wilson's going to probably have to take a seat for the rest of the half. That's their third foul.
Swish, swish on the first.
And Coach Gallagher's just decided to keep Wilson in there right now. Nobody's gone to the scores table to replace her. So with 3 fouls, he's going to trust her to play clean defense the rest of this half.
Pretty gutsy move as Gia trims the gap down to 3. Now the Blazers out with a full court look. Couple times off the rim goes that three-pointer. And Hathaway Brown with the rebound. They'll take a quick timeout, 30-second, just to try to get themselves out of that situation. And so far here in this game, turnovers costing both teams. Free throws haven't been great yet, even though Gia just knocked down her last 2. Just seems like the team that can maybe clean up both of those statistical categories going to be able to create some separation on the scoreboard here.
Yeah, Magnificat with 2 missed free throws already, 3 missed free throws by Hathaway Brown. And only a 16-13 game right now here with 5:16 left in the half between two teams that they can put it up in the 50s or the 60s. But like I said, you throw the records out when it's a rivalry matchup.
And 2 quality opponents at that. Both sitting on 6 wins for the campaign. Looking to notch number 7 in the win column here tonight.
And 2 teams that had high seeds last year in the district tournament. Magnificat number 2, and despite only playing, 13 games, Hathaway was still able to get a 16 seed.
What a drive. Gia lost the handle, and it is right into the hands of Russell.
That was a tough break for them. Had a chance to cut that to 1.
Anawar off the kick out. Getting this zone moving, and she's wide open in the corner for 3.
It's like there's a lid on the hoop right now, Brian.
Hathaway Brown will look to take that lid off here down at this end as Castellanos showing some shake and bake. Now she comes and gets it from baby sis Molly. Jones with the jumper from the foul line.
Such a sweet stroke there by her. Perfect look right on the elbow. 1-point game. She has 9 points to lead all scorers.
No answer at the other end. Molly with a big rebound.
His offense is as cold as the weather outside right now, coming off of the lake.
The junior to the left hand. Strong move. 2 free throws on the way for Lucy.
And you see Hathaway Brown starting to get that presence back underneath. No, they have not been making many shots, but they've been drawing a lot of fouls.
And with 4 minutes still remaining here in the second quarter, the next foul is going to put them in the double bonus. So big opportunity here for Hathaway Brown if they can convert their free throws to really capitalize on that. The fact that Magnificat put themselves in this position. But you got to knock down these ones right here.
Oof.
Lucy 0 for 2.
They call them free throws for a reason.
My father used to always yell at me when I was on the free throw line during my games and say, "They're free, take them." I think I shot about 55% from the charity stripe.
Yeah, I wasn't good at the line either. It's too much pressure. I'm the night, 8 points for her. Back to a 4-point lead for the Streaks.
Jones calls for it at the high post. Look at her just bruising her way inside. Missed the shot inside. Pretty quality defense, though. Step for step was Russell with her.
And another foul 98 feet away from the bucket.
It's going to go against Clark here battling. And actually, she didn't really do much. Just one of those wrong plays, right time if you're Magnificat type of plays. Team foul number 5 for the Blazers. Under 3 minutes to go here before the half.
Conditioning-wise, Hathaway Brown really has stuck with Magnificat so far. But I think these last 2 minutes are going to be crucial. Can they continue to keep this pace up?
Great look inside, threading the needle. Jones couldn't convert. Hustle play to get it back in bounds, but it's into the hands of the opponent.
You got to think if at least half of these buckets go down, what the score could be right now. It'd be in the 30s for both sides. They just aren't able to. What a rejection there by Castellanos.
And then her outstretched arm, forcing the travel.
Return to sender there. And then she stuck with it, stayed inside the lane, and they forced the turnover.
Yeah, Molly got the handout on the next would-be shot attempt and forced that travel. So an excellent defensive possession by the sophomore. Here's her older sister, Lucy, taking on a double team off the kick-out runner. Won't go for Clark, and it's a one and done for the Blazers. Good
Nice
feed
pass.
in traffic, underhanded shot.
I'm going to say it's on the floor, though. I don't know about that.
Well,
Unless that original collision, they called it for that, just blew the whistle late, but only the 6th foul against the Blazers, so no shots on this one. And an offensive foul, so nothing out of that possession now for Magnificat.
and it's actually Rossell who's going to pick up the personal after she thought that she had earned and should have been awarded a couple of free throw opportunities. Instead, moving screen, and it's Blazer ball.
Blazers in the last 135 will be in a double bonus next foul.
Castellanos in a two-man game. Molly rolls to the hoop. Now here's Germani with the kick out. Open look. Well off the mark with the shot. And Magnificat pushing the other way. Piscatelli got all basketball. The referee pointed out of bounds. Okay. The first hop was on the boundary. As that three ball from the corner is number 3 on the night from the sharpshooter spear.
If not for her, Magnificat be losing right now.
Picked off. Onawar back the other way. Takes on a couple defenders, now gives it up.
Ooh.
Excellent hesitation in the left-hand finish by Rossell at the cup. And we're going to get a timeout. Danny Gallagher pulled the trigger on the TO.
I'm surprised at that. You'd think it'd be a Hathaway Brown timeout because I said at about the 2-minute mark, we'll see if Hathaway Brown can continue with the pace. They have not been able to, and now Magnificat with a bit of a run here to extend out to a 9-point lead. That's why I'm sorry, Brian. That's why I'm surprised that Coach Gallagher called the timeout, because you can continue to get that run. This allows Hathaway Brown to catch their breath a little bit and maybe set up something to where they can cut into this lead before the break.
Probably a specific plan in mind here of new defensive strategy or what to do if Hathaway Brown tries to hold for the last shot.
But knowing the way I commentate, it's probably going to turn into a turnover, and Magnificat's going to score and extend the lead, because that's just how the jinx goes with me.
It is a 9-point advantage right now for the Blue Streaks here on the road.
We got a bailout call here.
Yeah, it looked like Piscatelli left her feet with no particular destination in mind, and boy, that is a bailout call if I've ever seen one. Josiah Onawar picked up the personal. Looked like pretty clean D.
Yeah, the referee said she kind of turned her elbow into Piscatelli, and that's enough to draw the foul.
Gia, 1 of 2. And that's not a good foul that time from Molly Castellanos. And the reason is because it's going to lead to free throws. And no time coming off the clock here.
This is exactly not what you want for Hathaway Brown right now. You got it down to 8 points. And now Magnificat has a chance to make this a double-digit lead with the clock stopped.
The sophomore Bryn Roggenberg from St. Raphael School. Splashes on the first attempt. Chance to push it to double figures for the first time tonight. The lead will stay at 9 as Molly comes down with the board. Pressure defense here on Anna Ha, who just checked in. And she somehow was able to evade all the pressure, set up her teammate backside, but the jumper too strong for Maggie Castellanos.
Blue Streaks pressing the offense.
Down to 5 seconds. Drive, kick out, 3-ball from the corner. It's good if it goes, but it's off the mark from Russell. And that takes us to the break. 9-point cushion for Magnificat here on the road. Settling down in that second quarter and outscoring the Blazers by 9. Keep it here. We'll be back with some halftime stats and analysis and get you ready for quarter number 3. You're watching live and free girls high school hoops exclusively on the OH.Report.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
It is halftime here at Hathaway Brown, and right now the Blazers in a 9-point hole. I'm Brian, this is Travis, and Magnificat right now in the lead on the road. A fun rivalry game, and obviously both sides had to settle down a bit. They were both really cooking, really on fire and alive early on in the game. We saw a ton of turnovers, but since that point, Travis, we've seen some pretty good, clean basketball, and the three-pointers obviously taking their toll on the Blazers right now, with the Blue Streaks being able to knock down a few.
Yeah, this was close into the last 2 minutes, and I think that's when Hathaway Brown kind of got worn out a little bit. Magnificat took advantage of it, and that got them out to their 9-point lead. But, yeah, they outscoring Hathaway Brown behind the arc 4 3s to 1. That's another main reason. And the missed free throws have been huge so far tonight.
Obviously, the game, as I mentioned, it was a little bit helter-skelter at the beginning of it. Then Hathaway Brown had a little bit of a run, but Magnificat, just the energy that they're able to play with, I think that it's something that all the players they have that mindset when they're on the floor that they have to go over 110% the entire time that they're at it. They just keep that engine running the entire time, and that's what's put them in a position right now where they've got the 9-point cushion, and it's hard for an opponent to sustain that for an entire game if you are not accustomed to trying to play that run and gun. And when they've gotten the full court pressure of the Blue Streaks, they've been able to have some success.
Yeah, and then another thing against Hathaway Brown, they've had chances underneath. Jones does have 9 points, but other than that, a lot of missed shots underneath. And then, like I said, the missed free throws too, a big reason. And Magnificat really taking advantage of those misses late in the period. And Spear, a couple big threes there towards the end as well. She's up now with 11 points, 3 of those threes coming her way. And Magnificat just, after both sides, a lot of turnovers early on. Both sides have calmed down a little bit. However, Hathaway Brown, 10 turnovers compared to only 6, and I think there's 6 of those turnovers came in the second quarter, only 2 for Magnificat.
Blazers really struggling right now to find scores consistently on the floor. Jermani Jones got more than half of their points. 9 of the 16 Blazers offensive points tonight have come from that junior, so they haven't had anybody else step up and show that they can be a consistent scorer. The sophomore Gia Piscatelli has 4 points on the night, and then the 1-3 ball from Tegan Clark. And that is it for the scoring tonight, Trav. Just 3 players right now getting in the mix for the Blazers, and they went to the bench. They got a few other girls involved as we take a look at the halftime numbers. 9 field goals for Mags to just 5 for the Blazers. That's what I'm talking about. Just the inconsistency on offense and the missed shots. They got some nice, clean looks, good setups. They just were not able to knock them down. That's a big difference, along with the free throw. 6 misses there as well.
Yeah, at least get that up to 7 or 8. It's a closer ball game. It's within reach right now, and make some buckets. Lucy Castellanos did have some open looks. She's the second leading scorer that averages 11 points per game. She is yet to hit a shot here tonight, so they got to need her to get going. They're going to need Clark to hit a couple more shots, and Piscatelli, all 4 of her points coming from the free throw line. So other than Jones, nobody's really done anything offensively away from the free throw line.
And on the other side, Frankie Spear leading all scorers. She's got 11. Knocked down 3 triples tonight as well. 4 total three-pointers made for Magnificat in this game. And that was my key to the action for Hathaway Brown this evening, is to just let it rain, knock down some threes, and right now it's the Blue Streaks that are doing a little bit better job of that. That's why they've got the 9-point cushion as we are getting ready for third quarter action. Keep it here. We'll be right back. The second half on the way from Shaker Heights.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
Second half action just about set to begin from the beautiful campus of Hathaway Brown School up in the Cleveland area. Got Magnificat in the building tonight. They own a 25-16 cushion as we are ready for the third quarter to start. And it's going to be Blue Streak basketball. All lined up here at midcourt. Brian Skowronski along with Travis Berardi on the call. In a snowy Shaker Heights tonight. We'll see if they can get it heating up here inside of the gym in this second half. We'd love to see better offense, at least early on, than what we saw in that first half when they started off really chaotic.
Yeah, Magnificat outscored Hathaway Brown 14-5 in that second period, and most of those buckets, only one made field goal in that second quarter, the rest coming from the free throw line.
Triple try too strong. Jones secures the rebound.
Balanced scoring is going to be needed here by the Blazers if they want to get back into this.
Piscatelli to the corner. Lucy Castellanos with the crossover. Nice move. Missed the shot. Clark battling, could not get the offensive rebound. And it's going to lead to, well, what I thought was going to be a wide open three attempt.
Take that.
Wilson thought better of it. Sets up a girl who's already knocked down three. Not this time from Spear. Body's tangled up on the ground, and we're headed the other way.
Yeah, I was expecting Wilson to take the open look, but instead goes for the extra pass. And Mag's unable to cash in on its second possession.
Piscatelli calls for a double screen, goes left. Castellanos has a beautiful crossover. Again, gets to the 10. 0 for 2 to start things off here in the third.
Just the story of the night for the Blazers.
Spear as well, misfiring on her first two shots. But she sets up her teammate, and it's splish splash from downtown. Maddie Norman with the triple.
Off the bench and onto the scorebook. That's gonna, if that's against Wilson, that's her fourth. It is.
Have another look here at the nice setup. And maybe a travel before the shot. Not called until it results in 3 points and the largest lead of the night. Blazers on the ropes, down a dozen. Can they match a three ball? Wow, somehow Lucy Castellanos cannot buy a bucket.
They're getting open looks. It's just the ball's not going through the hoop.
Hathaway Brown pushing ahead. Jones in traffic with the catch. Turns to her left. Puts up the shot up and over the top of Russell.
That is a tough shot. The lone bright spot tonight for Hathaway Brown. Scores again.
Looking for back-to-back buckets.
Oh.
Don't see that very often. Piscatelli put it up there, and it just like rested on the back of the iron and came off. Wow. And sometimes those things, they tend to snowball when it's not your night.
Yep.
Basket's not
like
going through.
Sand.
Stepping into an open look and burying a jumper, Julia Hall.
It's her first bucket of the night, back to a 12-point game.
So the freshman onto the scoreboard. Piscatelli going to try a jumper. And might be a breeze in here. Does someone open the back door?
That's something you also get. If you're not hitting shots, you're going to continue to try and force the issue, and sometimes it just makes things worse.
Almost a travel, no whistle against Anawar, who almost secured the offensive rebound, but tipped it out to her teammate. And it's going to be out of play. Katie Mario couldn't keep it in bounds without putting a foot over the boundary.
Second Magnificat turnover of the second half.
Piscatelli calls for the screen from Lucy. Get a switch. Nice roll to the cup.
That's a walk. They had the right play going with the pick and roll. About ready to get a dish out for an open 3 look, but shuffled the feet.
30-second timeout called out on the floor. So Hathaway Brown, Coach Steve Klug in his first season as the top dog. Been over here for 3 seasons. Couple as a varsity assistant.
And this is a storied program, especially in the 2000s. I'm just looking up at the wall. I see 4 state championships, a couple state runners-up. So this squad, 6 1,000-point scores, another 1,000 assists.
What?
Yeah, right underneath the scoreboards.
1,000 assists, huh?
1,000 assists. Just recently, too. But this is a storied program here at Hathaway Brown. Girls basketball. And a school that's been here since 1876.
Zone look here for the Blazers. Got a 1-3-1 look. Hard drive to the cup. Great finish from Russell.
She just weaved her way through traffic. Easily broke through for the bucket.
8 points now on the night for Abby. And they throw a double team.
Oh,
Comes backside at
trap.
Lucy.
Oh, and an even better block.
Tegan Clark with the recovery. Throwing herself a block party for 1.
But watch this trap here, Brian. Perfectly executed. She didn't even see the defender when she turned and went right into a wall. Nice give and go, but another block.
Back-to-back blocks for Tegan. And a look inside, Germani. Tough shot. She's heading to the free throw line.
They really needed that bucket to go down. A little bit of momentum back in the Hathaway Brown's favor after the 2 blocks on a defensive end and the and 1 down here.
Sometimes that's all it takes is just a little spark to get something going. If Jones can cap off his 3-point play, perhaps can send the Blazers on a nice little wave of momentum. Haven't seen them go on a run yet tonight.
They've had the ability to, but just like I said, the ball hasn't been going through the net for them. They've had open looks.
Jones splashes it home.
Leads all scorers with 14 points, back to 11-point game.
Double team, Lucy down to the floor. Timeout taken by Coach Gallagher. 30-second timeout. And you see the intensity picking up a little bit for the Blazers here, and with the freshman guard out on the floor there running the point, I think it is the right decision, even though you can tell, obviously, that she's got some great handles on a war. You got to see what she's made of as just a 9th grader. Love the decision out here to come out, try to get her in some pressure situations.
Yeah, absolutely, and you feel a little bit of momentum coming back to Hathaway Brown's side, and if this gets to be a close game late in the 4th, remember the sequence. Off the turnover, multiple blocks by Clark, go down to the other end. Jones gets the hoop in the arm, completes the 3-point play because it felt like Magnificat was going to bust this open, but that play may keep Hathaway Brown in it. We'll just have to wait and see if they can continue to capitalize.
With under 4 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter, the Blazers would love to continue a nice little spurt here. You always want to head into the final 8 minutes, Travis, if you're behind by 10 or less.
Yes.
That's what my man Dickie V's been telling me for my entire life, is that when it's at least the last 5 minutes, if you can be within 10, you feel like you're still in the game.
Yeah, and then you play the 4th quarter in sequences. The first couple minutes, you need to win it by so much. You win those segments, you're in it at the end.
Drive straight to the cup, and it's an impressive one over the top of the defender for Rogenberg. No bucket back at the other end, but Clark running the floor has earned 2 free throws off the foul.
It's going to be Rosser's 3rd, but a great answer after the bucket by Magnificat. Hathaway Brown right back at you.
Teagan averages 9 points per contest. Has 4 now.
Hall checks back in for the Streaks.
One for 2 and a good rebound by Magnificat.
Blazers extending that zone out.
Yeah, it's an interesting looking zone right now. They've almost even matched up, and now they will. As Anawar content just to allow some time to milk off the clock. And if you're Hathaway Brown trailing by a dozen, you cannot allow that. As Lucy picks up a reach-in foul off the dribble drive, her third.
Yeah, it seems like they're going man-to-man, but they're trapping out of it as well, especially up top. And that's something where if Magnificat can spot this, they're going to get open looks.
Triple from the corner. Won't fall this time from Spear. Jones tracks it down. Dribbles her way out of pressure. And we're going to get a blocking foul. I believe it's going to go against Julia Hall.
It is. That'll be her second. And the 5th on Magnificat. So once again, foul trouble could get Hathaway Brown to the line here before the 4th quarter.
Piscatelli drew a couple of defenders, sets up Jones, who's been money all night long. Sweet 16 now on the score sheet for her.
Back to a 10-point game. And Hathaway Brown finally seeing the ball go through the hoop.
Hall off the drive, had it tipped. Lucy with the steal. Sets a screen, she gets the switch. Piscatelli right back to her. Castellanos off the double team to Jones. Now Gia from downtown.
Big shot.
Gets the bench up on their feet. 7 points now for the stud soft.
Down to a 7-point game. And now it's Magnificat looking a little flustered.
Content just to run some clock here. Anamor with the ball resting on her right hip at midcourt. And the Blazers saying sit down defensively. Go ahead and stay where you're at.
Hey, this is within a 10-point game. It's a 7-point game, 3 possessions. Let them run out the 3rd quarter clock.
Blazers are on such a high right now. Love to try to keep it going. They've got active hands going. Everyone getting high up in the passing lane.
And something else that little pause did is it let Hathaway Brown catch their breath as well. And that's, I think, why Coach said just stay back. But great job by Magnificat to kind of lull Hathaway Brown to sleep there and then get the open look underneath.
Jones just clubbed her on the shot attempt. It's Frankie Spear. Senior now on the free throw line. Had an excellent first half. Hadn't scored yet here in the 3rd.
Hey, if you're going to foul somebody going for the shot, you got to make sure they don't make it, and that's exactly what Jones did there.
She's going to split the pair. The lead jumps back up to 8 as we're under 45 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Coach motioning to slow things down, open up that offense.
Ball was basically volleyballed outside to the shooter. Now Jones draws the foul. Late whistle comes in. I think it's the proper call. And this one is going to go against Abby Russell. Her 2nd, team's 5th.
So Jones with 16 points. Make that 17.
She's been a prime time performer.
8 points here in this third quarter alone has really sparked this comeback by the Blazers.
Saw Anna Ha, number 20, just checking in, the sophomore, into the mix. Got boxed out on that play. And an opportunity here for the Blue Streaks to hold for the final shot of the quarter if they'd like. Instead, they're going to rush it. And you see the miscommunication painted all over the face of Abby Rossell. Thought that her teammate was going to flow with her. Lespiza on the play, who's been really quiet tonight. Have not seen much from her.
It's now the 10th Magnificat turnover. 4th in the second half. Although a big statistic for Hathaway Brown, they've only turned it over once here in the second half.
That's been huge. And a chance to trim down on this 7-point hole that they put themselves in. It was double-digit for basically the entire frame. But a nice run here to close things out for the Blazers. Will they do it in style? Gia clearly took a bump that time, and they're going to get one foul closer to being in the bonus. Beautiful job by Lucy, dribbling right into the fender. Gia cut off the space that was available in between.
Huge win for Hathaway Brown if they can cut this to 2 possessions at the end of the quarter. They got to get a shot off quick, 2 seconds.
Lucy at the horn, puts it up, no good. So we head to money time with a bit of a football score. 2 all-girls teams, 35-28 on our way to the 4th.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
Hit it, Ski.
Money time has arrived here in Shaker Heights. That's right, just one more quarter of regulation scheduled here tonight, and thanks to a nice run at the end of the third, we got a game, Trav.
12-10, Hathaway Brown outscored Magnificat, although momentum-wise it was more like a 10-0 run for them. But a turnover, not the way you want to start the 4th.
Blue Streaks have showed the ability to be patient on offense as a Nunwar to the cup, forced that one. 3 defenders in the area.
Nice job not to swipe or go at her to draw the foul.
Lucy Castellanos, her first points of the night.
Could have come at a better time. We're down to a 5-point game.
Things tightening up here in Shaker Heights. And it looks like the Blazers, they're okay now, sagging off. The 3-point shooting has cooled down. Frankie Spear, red hot early on in the game. She knocked down those 3 triples, 4 total in the first half for Magnificat. Don't believe they made one in the third quarter.
They have not. Those 4 threes coming in the first half. They had a couple open looks, weren't able to hit though.
So it looks like we're seeing a bit more sagging right now defensively for Hathaway Brown.
And another turnover, unforced as well.
The kick out off target from Maddie Norman.
And you see, sorry Brian, you see how Hathaway Brown, they're sagging back into the lane. They're letting them kick it out there because they still have that distance to close out. And Magnificat's just making unforced errors.
And the ball starting to find its way through the bottom of the net here lately for Hathaway Brown. As Molly Castellanos off target. But a travel. Jermani Jones called for the walk.
Yeah, she established the pivot foot with her right foot and then kind of stepped up and back down. And that's why they called the travel on her.
Blazers speeding things up a bit. But one travel at one end turns into one at the other. Hall, the freshman, too quick with her shoes that time.
And just shuffled both feet, trying to get set up as she caught the ball, but she caught it, then tried to set herself up.
Jones forced way out off the block. Now sets a screen. Lucy down the lane and back-to-back buckets now for Castellanos.
There's some of the balance I was talking about at halftime that Hathaway Brown needed to get back into this. Now up to 4 points for Castellanos.
Coach Gallagher urging his team to run some crisp offense, set good screens. Blazers defensively really sitting down. Spear forces up a triple, and guess who with the board?
Easily has to be approaching a double-double here tonight for Jones.
She averages 6.5 rebounds per
Nice
game.
pass.
She's well over her average for scoring. Adding to it, timeout on the floor. Magnificat hasn't put up any points yet here in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, Hathaway Brown's got 6, and we've got a all-new feeling ball game here. Looked like at a point there in the third quarter, you might leave the Blazers dead on the side of the road after, a hot performance by Magnificat. They were kind of still in the show, and then all of a sudden, you get that little spark. The back-to-back blocks I think we said we were going to point to in that third quarter from one Tegan Clark. And the defense, it's kind of ratcheted up, and Hathaway Brown playing pretty solid right now.
That was a 14-point game at that time. Hathaway Brown with the ball, turns it over on a really good defensive set by Magnificat, but Clark didn't give up. Got down, got the first block, inbounds pass, another block, led to an and one, and since then it's been all Hathaway Brown, and they're 1 point away from taking the lead against a very good Magnificat squad. Like I said, number 12 in the Cleveland.com girls polls. A good defensive, a good D1 squad that last year, they lost a couple pieces, but they were the number 2 seed in all of the Northeast District that goes beyond about 6 or 7 separate districts in itself. So they are a really good squad. And what a win this could be if the Blazers can finish this off for this young squad going into the rest of the season and possibly next year.
And as you look at the faces of both of these teams, the Blazers, they got some smiles. You can tell they got a little bit of adrenaline running, coursing through their veins right now. And then on the other side, you saw Mags come out of the huddle, and it was a little bit of like a big breath, like, all right, let's get our act together here, ladies.
This is a big test for Magnificat as well. A rivalry matchup here. You want to keep some momentum going after. I mean, they've really struggled as of late, losing to a couple good teams. Can they, squeak out a tough win against a rival? They're going to have to do it from behind. Jones now with 22.
And the Blazers out in front. Remarkable stretch for them since the midway point in the third quarter. Can the Blue Streaks find an answer? The freshman uncorks one. Won't find its way in the bottle. Recovers, though, almost came up with the interception.
Hathaway Brown has outscored Magnificat here in 11 minutes and 39 seconds, 20-10, to take the 1 point lead.
Piscatelli calls for a couple of screens. Goes left side off the switch. Lost the handle, though.
Tried to get a little too cute there with the ball handling. And coach is going to get a timeout to calm his team down and reset things.
It's going to be a full timeout from Steve Klug. Maybe a 30-second timeout as the ladies stay standing. Really impressed with the Blazers' effort and energy since they've gotten the ball rolling. And sometimes all it takes is just seeing it go through the hoop.
Yep.
They were
It's
struggling
contagious.
so hard from the field in that third quarter to start things off. The 14-point lead. Since then, they've got the good vibes rolling, and it all stems with them defensively.
And because of the play of Jones. She scored 3/4 of the points tonight, all inside. A couple, the big and one that really started the run, but she has not only offensively scoring the ball, but giving second chances as well. She has, I believe, 4 or 5 offensive rebounds tonight that has allowed them to, continue to keep possessions and extend that out to get buckets.
Coach Gallagher trying to find a message for his team. Execution on offense for Magnificat has not been crisp over the last full 8 minutes.
However, they only trail by 1. This game is far from over.
Pass too tall for Jones. Couldn't sky for that one. So Clark throws it away on the inbound. And you hate that out of the timeout when you typically feel real confident with something that you can go to, you feel like you can get a bucket out of. So to have an initial turnover with no time coming off the clock, that's tough. But this is where they have been making their bread here lately, is on the defensive end. Frustrating Magnificat, who has to force up another 3 as that one comes up short from Spear.
But a travel gives it right back. The 15th turnover, 5th of the second half.
And it's consecutive giveaways from Tegan Clark.
So past the midway point here, this fourth quarter, Hathaway Brown, after the big run, they're just continuing to hold on right now, up by 1. Nice ball fake.
Good take inside. Jump ball as 3 bodies go diving on the floor. Possession arrow is going to keep the rock down at this end with Magnificat.
You're getting to the point now where, yeah, there's 3:40 left, but Magnificat, they need to get the ball in the bucket. Because you don't want to get any more momentum on the side of Hathaway Brown. Retake the lead, get some of that momentum back.
Blue Streaks still scoreless here in the fourth. 4.5 minutes gone by. Can they find some offense on this possession? Great fake to the corner. The shot blocked by Jones at the 10.
Magnificat was patient on that possession. Looked like they were going to get a good shot, but even better defense by the Blazers.
2 Blazers in the area, but it was stolen on the play by Russell, who had it taken right back away from her.
How many times tonight have we seen this happen where one team will turn it over but then give it right back?
Jones with the slip to the cup. No look inside from Castellanos. Now calling for it. Pushing the defender, Russell.
But a double dribble. Yeah, she couldn't really get control of the ball. Lost the handle for a second and another turnover. No need to rush things with 2:36 left. Magnificat, they can still get into their offense, something they really haven't done in the second half. Get to your offense, get open looks like you did in the first half. You can score off of that. They've been rushing things more here in the second. 8-second set of 16 minutes.
A lot of nice backdoor cuts here for the Blue Streaks. No passes targeted in the lane as Anumwar resets, calls for the screen, goes opposite. How about that jump stop down the lane? It was a tough shot, brutal angle for Russell, and she clanked it off the backboard. Under 2 minutes to go. Lucy,
nice
backside
pass
to Jones.
Lucy Castellanos has really taken things over here in this second half. Couple big buckets and a great assist there.
Triple straight away.
What an answer.
Bottoms up. The first points of the fourth. Throssell delivers from beyond the arc.
Now in the double figures, and we're tied with under 90 seconds left.
Piscatelli right down Main Street. Thought she got fouled. Didn't get a whistle. And now a Numwar pulls it out, slowing things down. Coach Gallagher says get back into your motion offense where they just got a bucket.
They're going to pull it out. Do they wait for the final shot here?
I would. If Molly's not going to come out and defend, there's no reason to put up a shot before you want to. That's why Abby Rossell is controlling and Coach Gallagher with her. Now she drives, splits a couple of defenders. Didn't need to force up that shot. She's frustrated. You can see the look on her face. She had a couple of open players.
I mean, she had a good look at it too, but
tough shot.
Yeah.
So a timeout taken, 27 seconds remaining. And first-year head coach Klug, big spot here. Chance to knock off her rivals.
Had the open look for a second, but just see Tegan Clark just come over and shut things down at the last second. Back end, maybe get a bounce pass out here.
Two wide open shooters.
And then baseline pass, quick kick out for three, but instead she wanted to be the hero. Doesn't get the shot, and now Hathaway Brown with 27.6 seconds left. And Coach probably writing up a final play here.
Isn't the picket fence just always the go-to if you need a clutch bucket?
You're darn right it is.
Tie game.
Or just spread it out. I'll make it.
Either way.
And that player, I think, would be Germani Jones.
And that's what I'm looking at right now into the Blazers huddle. It looked like it was all Coach doing the talking, drawing something up, so nobody verbalized and said, like, Coach, I want the shot from here or there. So anything can happen on this final play. I am curious to see who they are going to put in here. We saw the two-lady game so far. When they put both Castellanos in the mix has worked. Jones, of course, is a beast down on the block by herself. They've got them all on a line, and they'll start with it in the hands of Gio Piscatelli.
I want to see if they go something of a pick and roll to either Jones or Lucy Castellanos.
Molly had to pick up her dribble. Lucy on the backdoor cut. I think we're going to get another timeout from Hathaway Brown. We will. They've still got 15 seconds. And you can't take them with you into overtime. May as well draw something up again. And you saw the double team, the pressure right away from Coach Gallagher's club to take the ball out of the hands of their sophomore point guard, and that's when things got a little bit crazy. They gave it to Molly, who dribbled, had to pick up her bounce, and I think it was the proper call. Call timeout, start all over.
It's a right defensive play because it doesn't let Hathaway Brown get into the set that they just drew up. I'm still thinking if they can get set up, run a pick and roll to either Lucy Castellanos or Germani Jones, either or. Maybe try both and have both rush towards the hoop, maybe get an easy pass if somebody comes over. You know, get a two-man game going off of a pick and roll.
I think
that's
no matter
the only thing
what,
that's worked.
I'd like to start with it in the hands of Lucy Castellanos. Even though she's missed a lot of shots in tight tonight, she's been the most confident girl with the basketball. She's been able to get into the lane on multiple occasions. She's got a pretty sweet crossover, one of the better that I've seen for a girl basketball player this season. So I'd like to at least initiate the offense through her. She's made some wise decisions. But how can you not give it to Germani Jones with them 23 points for the game-winning shot? I'd like to put those two involved in the play somehow, some way. But that's why we're up here, Travis. We have no idea what's coming, and that's half the fun.
Well, also because Castellanos has a couple buckets and that assist, they're going to go on her. So if she comes towards the hoop, she might drag that extra defender over to where she can kick it over to Jones or vice versa.
They do try to get to Lucy and Will.
Oh, she picked up her dribble.
Now here's Jones turning inside. 10 seconds left. The kick out to Molly. They'll reverse it back to Piscatelli. Down the lane, the lob out. It's intercepted. Down to 3 seconds.
And that's a good foul.
Brilliant foul, just the third on Hathaway Brown. So Mags will have to inbound and get up a shot that way. But how about this defensive effort coming through with a clutch steal that time from Maddie Norman.
And Clark did that at the absolute last second, because if she tries for that foul maybe a foot or two further, that's probably an intentional foul in free throws for Magnificat. But she was able just to get enough to the side to get the swipe and the foul where it's not intentional. And now, like you said, a brilliant foul, only 1.4, so maybe a catch, a couple dribbles, and a release.
Take one more look at Norman, reading it all the way, getting a hand in the passing lane.
Just enough recover to get around. If she's maybe a foot more ahead and she goes for that, the referee could call an intentional foul because she had a clear path to the bucket.
Tegan Clark on a couple different occasions tonight has had great recoveries getting back on the defensive end. We mentioned very key possession where she had the back-to-back block shots. So perhaps that foul will help send this game to overtime.
I don't want to hear the word overtime after last night.
Pittsburgh Steelers fans were really sweating it out.
So the fourth quarter to you is money time. What is this? Last 1.4 seconds in a tie game.
Well, this is crunch time now.
Okay.
This is where stars are certainly made at these moments, and this is where moments can be enshrined forever in a lore where you'll go back and you'll watch the clip. If a shot is made here by Magnificat, obviously this is going to be one that they're going to hang on to and treasure for a while.
Well, also, you Red Zone fans, this is the witching hour where wins become losses and losses become wins.
After a brutal fourth quarter, can Magnificat still a win? They'll get it in bounds. They're going to bring it back to the freshman, and no shot even gets up from Anumwar. So we are headed to overtime here in Shaker Heights. Hathaway Brown and Magnificat all square at 38 apiece. We'll be right back with the extra session.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
Free basketball for the fans here in the stands at Hathaway Brown, and it's always live and free here on the OH.Report, so just some extra live and free for you. 4 quarters not enough to determine a winner of this game, and Hathaway Brown wins the opening tip. They've got the basketball here in overtime with Piscatelli stepping into an open J, in and out, and the freshman pulls down the board, Josiah Anawar.
Got the look, and once again just in and out, unable to get it to go through the hoop.
First step, beautiful, all the way to the cup, and a big bucket from Brent Roggenberg.
5 points off the bench, and finally Magnificat able to get the lead back after it seems like they had it given away for 5 minutes in the fourth.
They scored just 3 in that session, though they're off to a hot start here. Rogenberg again, straight to the cup. Can't hit. Friends in low places, though. Frankie Spear with the offensive rebound. She's headed to the free throw stripe.
Piscatelli thought she had all ball, but You take a look at the replay. Just off to the side a little bit, and I think a hip check is what they'll call her for.
Yeah,
for
she
third
felt
foul.
that she went straight up and down with her jump, kind of looked that way. However, the contact was created by Spear. Heady play that time.
It's going to be a 13th point for Spear. Big bucket here makes it a 2-possession game. Got it.
She had 11 points in the opening half, has cooled off a little bit, but pure on those 2 strokes.
Nice backdoor cut.
Piscatelli switching to the left in midair.
Just a defensive lapse there. Ball just got across midcourt and she got open.
Anunwar swatted in the lane.
And who else but Jones to make another big play.
Another look, nice hesitation, but Jamani waiting for her.
Just the wingspan. Able to get all ball.
Rogan Burke fouled Lucy Castellanos
That's
with
her
the
4th.
hand on the hip.
I call that a love tap. I didn't see much out of that, but hey, that's the way the referees have been calling it all game at least, so it's been consistent.
Magnificat with a 2-point advantage, 2:20 to go. Anunwar, shovel pass to the outside. Now Russell, back to her.
She could have taken, she had Castellanos up in the air, and instead of going up for the shot, she gave it up, and it turns into an empty possession.
Rogan Burke with a beautiful drive. Too strong off the backstop. Chance to tie or take the lead here for the Blazers. Castellanos with the step through. Her shot blocked by Rogan Burke, who touched it last.
I have no idea how she was able to split the 2 defenders right there. Kind of a little fake, but nice recovery and the block.
Piscatelli.
Oh, wow.
The SWAT team rolling through, led by Anunwar. They swing it. 3-ball on the way. Russell can't connect.
Big offensive rebound. They can run more clock.
How about another block, this time on the perimeter? So Clark got a piece of it, and it forces a timeout taken by Magnificat. Just be a 30.
She followed her shot, though. Able to get the big rebound.
Excellent defense we've seen
Oh,
played
yes.
on both sides. Each of these last 2 possessions, 3 total block shots.
Yeah, and they were all ball as well. You know, getting good looks, no fouls there, playing great defense, and that's what you want to look for in a game this close in overtime. 2 points, both sides going 110%, making big plays.
Now that we've gotten to this point of the game where we're in the extra session, this is where you have to empty out the tank, leave it all on the table, and you can tell how much this game means to each of these squads. Don't want to drop this one.
No, these are 2 good teams. This big game seeding wise, also, because this could determine, you know, if you're a 10 or an 8 seed. And in a district like this, those 2 spots could be huge on where you're going to be.
Abby with the basketball. She's got the 2-point cushion.
This is Division I girls basketball right here, Brian.
The tops in the state, 2 of them. Longtime rivals, all girls schools. A lot of pride at stake here tonight as well to go along with the wins and losses. As Anunwar now elects to drive. Lucy hanging in midair. Gonna put her on the free throw line.
If she doesn't go up into the air, that's not going to be called.
So Josiah Anumwar, just a freshman.
And that's the 5th on Lucy Castellanos. She doesn't leave her feet. That's not going to be called. Possibly be a charge call. Instead, she tries to go for the block and will foul out.
What a loss for Hathaway Brown.
Big loss defensively, and she really got her offensive game going in that 4th quarter. Now her teammates will try and pick her up here.
They'll plug in the lone senior on the squad, Celia Bullock.
Oh, wow.
Whew. Tough break. So Josiah finding the rim on the road here, unfriendly in the extra session, to push it out to a 3-point advantage. 0 for 2. Piscatelli did not hesitate, took it all the way to the rack, tipped around, still available, and now secured by Mags.
Just run clock now. Forced to get fouled, and that's what they do. We'll have a 1-and-1.
Piscatelli picks up the personal and is going to put Bryn Rogan-Burke on the line.
Now that's Piscatelli's 4th.
The sophomore from St. Raphael School. In a big spot here. Gotta drain the first to get the second. Can make it a 2-score game. But she won't.
Oh, big offensive rebound.
Huge board secured by Frankie Spear.
And that's going to be Piscatelli's 5th.
So the top 2 ball handlers for the Blazers no longer available for the rest of the game, as Coach Klug, looking deep down his bench, calls on Carolyn Jang to come in. So you wonder who's even going to be able to run the point here. If you're Hathaway Brown, Tegan Clark likely.
And this is probably going to come down to if 1 or 2 of these free throws are missed, it may be to a situation where they try and take this last shot.
The door left wide open here at Hathaway Brown, as Clark gets around the defender, goes to the cup, draws the foul. She'll have a chance to try to knot things up.
You not entertained, Brian?
Whew. Love the gutsiness to just decide, I beat my first defender. I'm just going to go ahead and take it as hard as I can right to the hole. That's exactly what Tegan Clark did. Now, can she capitalize? To get us the square.
Whew.
Clutch. Same situation that we had during regular time. Chance for the game winner.
My.
And it's going to be a blocking foul, and paying the price was Tegan Clark, who stood in tough, grabbing her abdominal section. I think she took a knee to the chest.
Got the wind knocked out of her. Let's take a look at the replay here. Just came over a little too late, and you're right. She got it right to the chest, right to the stomach area.
Abby Rossell with the fundamental play to take it to the rim. And that knee just going right into the solar plex section.
And you see her, she backed up for a second. If she comes in and sets herself up, that's more of a, that'd probably be a charge for her. But that little hesitation is what changed from it being a charge to a block.
Tegan trying to recollect her breath, and for Magnificat, trying to collect themselves at the free throw line. they pretty much could have slammed the door shut on a comeback for Hathaway Brown here had they been able to be successful from the charity stripe. Instead, 0 for 3 each time they've been there, and this is a big spot to try to come in. Still a win here on the road. As Tegan still down on the ground. Looks like just trying to catch her breath,
it's not
though.
fun when you get the wind knocked out of you right there. It'll take a while, but she'll be okay here in a minute.
And they gotta have her here with Lucy Castellanos fouled out, along with Gia Piscatelli. I mean, this is about the last true primary ball handler that you have left available on your roster is Tegan Clark. So you hope that she's able to shake this off, stay out on the floor. But obviously, not feeling great right now.
No, it's not a good feeling, but she's able to get back up.
Just the one positive that you could say about the injury is that she's not grabbing for an ankle or a knee or a foot or anything. I think that was pretty clear. She just took a knee right to the chest, knocked the wind out of her. Might hurt a couple of abs, a little bruise. But she's been a fiery player all night. We'll see if she's able to check back in. But for right now, Maggie Castellanos, the twin of Molly, into the ball game. Wearing the spec rec, something I imagine that you probably played with back in the day.
I did wear rec specs for a couple years in high school before I got contacts. They do the job.
First free throw. Cash. Abby to make it a 2-point game.
No.
So Jones with the rebound. And a timeout taken by the Blazers right at the perfect time. Because you saw the defense closing down. And that's what I was talking about with no Castellanos Lucy on the floor.
Yep.
With no Gia Piscatelli on the floor. And now Clark going out. You're just in such a difficult situation where, I mean, if one girl goes out, okay, you handle the ball. If two girls go out, okay, you handle the ball. But if they're all three not available to you as a coach, you can tell they're digging a little bit deeper into the roster than they're used to getting to. And who is going to be able to bring up the basketball down the floor after this timeout? If I'm coach, I'm right in Tegan Clark's ear. Hey, girl, we need you just for this one more play.
This timeout gives her the opportunity to check back in if she's all right as well. And this is something where quick inbound, you got to get it down court fast. So you got to think maybe try and get a back cut to where your momentum is taking you towards the hoop. Because 3.9 seconds, it's actually a lot of time, especially if the ball's near half court, to get going, maybe get a quick pass and a bucket. All they need is a 2 to win it.
We are in for an awesome finish here. If there's no foul, we are going to crown a winner on this next shot. Will it be the Blazers with a huge bucket to give the home fans something to smile about? Or will the rough times continue for Magnificat, who've lost 3 of 4 entering tonight?
And there is Clark back in the game.
And you know Tegan wants nothing more than an opportunity to get the basketball. And Coach Gallagher actually telling his girls to lay off. They're going to throw it to Clark in the middle.
Intercepted, though.
Picked off. And that is going to do it. Magnificat coming on the road and surviving. Hathaway Brown gave them their best shot. Just weren't able to get up a jumper at the end for the win. And the Blue Streaks escape with a big victory. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with our post game. Have some final stats for you folks, as well as an interview with our player of the game. So we'll have to determine who we thought was the best of the best. And we'll have a conversation with that player. That's all on the way after this.
Here we go
go now. Here we go now.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
Back now with the OH Report, player of the game, Abby Russell, 13 points for you, including the game-winning free throw. So let's begin with that clutch one that you put down. The last three girls that went to the free throw line all missed the front end of the one-on-one. So describe to me maybe the sense of relief or what the emotion was that you were feeling when you seen that one drop.
I was really happy because we work a lot in practice, and free throws are something I struggle with a lot. So I was happy to make them in the time that counted. So, yep.
How significant is this win for you girls, coming on the road, beating a team like Hathaway Brown where you had the big lead, it almost went sour for you, but you go ahead, you collect yourself, and you get the dub?
It was really good because in practice all week we've been working on moving the ball more, and I think we really did well on that. And we also just came off of a loss, so it felt good to get a win in, especially on the road on a Monday because those are the toughest games. So, yep.
So for you girls moving forward, you got off to the nice 5-0 start to the season. It's been a little bit rocky since then. What do you think that you can take from this one moving forward to try to keep some of the good times and the good juju going?
I think we had really good bench energy and on the floor, so just to keep that up, and just a win's a win, so it always makes us feel good. So, yeah.
And describe to me, how big of a rivalry does Magnificat look at this matchup with Hathaway Brown?
I think just like every other game, we got to come in and we have to win and do what we work on in practice. And we come and play them every year, so it's kind of fun to, see them again. So, and it changes every year, so it's good.
All right, and finally, we allow the MVP to look into the camera. If you want to give a shout-out to anybody who may be watching at home, now is your time.
Hi, Bobby and Danny, my brothers. I don't know. That's it.
Hey, congratulations, our OH.Report MVP, Abby. Big performance tonight.
Thank you.
All right, we'll throw it up to Travis now with the final stats.
Thank you very much, Brian Skowronski, Abby Russell with 12 points. As we take a look at our final statistics for tonight. Both teams, 15 made field goals. However, Magnificat with 6 made threes compared to 2. They picked up the free throw shooting, though, in the second half, finished 10 of 18 from the line, while Magnificat went the other way, 7 of 16 total from the free throw stripe. Fouls were pretty even. Turnovers, however, Hathaway Brown at the beginning of the second half really didn't turn the ball over that much, but when it came to the end of the fourth and overtime, pressure really got to them. They finished with 19 turnovers, 9 of those in the second half, and about 6 of those coming in the final 5 minutes of the game. As we welcome Brian back in here. You're a fast guy.
Yeah, I've been working on my wind sprints down at the studio, so I was prepared for tonight to get up this couple of little areas of stairs and finish things off with you, Travis. So not 100% sure what was fully said here on this post game, but I would just comment that this was a fun game. Two teams that I think really could have used this victory. So either way that you swing this thing, it could have been beneficial. So I don't think that it's going to be a huge bummer for Hathaway Brown, like moving forward, like it's going to detour their season. But at the same time, I do feel like Magnificat, they didn't want to go with back-to-back losses, and I think this probably can springboard them moving forward to bigger and better things. The fact that they didn't blow that big double-digit lead here in the second half probably bodes well for them moving forward here in the middle of January.
It was a good job for them. Down by a bucket, down by 3, hits the big 3, and from then they did not trail the rest of the way. So a gut check for them as well, something they can help build on. And then, like you said, for Hathaway Brown, they can play with one of the best in the area, the number 12 team in the Cleveland.com girls top 25, a team that started off 5-0, had a couple tough losses to some really good teams. So it shows that they can play with the best as well.
Quality basketball here. Division I girls going head-to-head and needed an extra session. So overall, it was a great night here in Shaker Heights. Had a lot of fun, and we've seen some good basketball on display. And it's always it just adds to the impact. And anytime 4 quarters is not enough, it's always a good sign. Love it. Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage here tonight from Hathaway Brown. Appreciate everybody welcoming us out here in Shaker Heights and seeing this rivalry up close. Really good time. We saw it on the soccer pitch.
Yeah.
Now the opportunity to be able to see it on the basketball floor just solidifies that this is a great rivalry. So appreciate everybody out there watching in Facebook and YouTube land. But we're going to be signing out here tonight. That's Travis. I'm Brian for Garrett, Storm, and Adam. Want to thank you all for watching and let you know you can catch us on a live stream near you real soon. So long for now.